We are hope.
We are honor.
We are courage.
We are justice.
We are compassion.
We are determination.
We are harmony. We are Overwatch.
Overwatch, one of the games of the hour right now, one of the most upcoming games in the esports world. And who better to talk about this game than Jason Kaplan? Nice to have you on the show, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. I mean, I'm kind of new to this whole show thing, but it's been a lot of fun.
I just want to point out, by the way, I'm Jason Kaplan, not Jeff Kaplan. So some people get
Oh, yes,
confused.
of
I'm not
course.
actually related to him, even though I had a nice moment with him at Blizzcon. It was great. I shook his hand, did one of thank you for everything you bring to us for Overwatch. But no, yeah, Jason Kaplan.
Kind of like the Gabe Newell thing. Just
Yeah, pretty
to
much.
How many people make cringy jokes about that every day?
Too many.
Too many.
Too many. I mean, it's either that or it's like, isn't that but I love you? Or isn't that the guy who shaved his head? Yeah, I'm all of those. But I'm not related to Jeff.
Every
unfortunately.
single one together, of
Yeah.
course. So, I mean, we have to talk about Blizzcon, of course. I mean,
Sure.
was it your first time at Blizzcon?
It actually was. I originally wasn't supposed to be there. I originally wasn't on the talent list for that one. But I think after APAC, after the feedback we got from Reddit and the feedback from the community, they kind of put me in there as you've done a really good job this year. Because speaking of year, Mitch and I have been literally working on Overwatch for over a year now.
Yeah.
We were making content back in I think late September.
The Alpha Cast or whatever that. What was it called? The Alpha.
It's Alpha Cast.
You don't even know anymore.
Because there's been so many tournaments, right?
Yeah.
But it was the first tournament that Europe had that Sebastian, who is one of our coworkers, who actually was at BlizzCon playing for France, decided to put on as a scrimmage. It wasn't even supposed to be a prize pool tournament.
Okay, cool. I mean, I'm still trying to find out what that was. Before the game even was released, you and Mitch had this
Overdrive.
Overdrive.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's been a long time since we've done anything with that channel.
What happened?
Too busy. Too busy.
busy.
Mitch has been doing a lot of Counter-Strike. He's been to events left and right. I can't really do them by myself because he's not there. So instead, we're supplementing with some VOD reviews we do of ourselves and other people. Just haven't had the time, but maybe we're making a comeback soon. Who knows?
Maybe, who knows? But you guys are kind of the only Overwatch duo there really is in casting right now, I'd say.
In Europe, yeah. North America does have ZP and Hex, our hexagrams. Though we've even seen ZP and Mr. X, who's a Call of Duty caster as well, kind of being a duo. You've got Monty and Doa now in Korea, who've been doing the Apex League. And Mitch and I guess, are the other duo, though it was Mitch and Demon casting over at BlizzCon. So I guess we all three interchange with each other since we work at ESL.
But you and Mitch are obviously pretty good friends, right?
I'd say
More or
we're good
less,
friends.
you can't admit that when he watches, right?
Yeah, it took me over a year to get a hug from this guy. So
Wow.
And when he finally did, he had a little bit to drink. So that kind of gives you an idea.
Oh, wow. You feel, it seems like you're a little bit hurt about
He
that.
does hug people in front of me intentionally, and while he's hugging them, right, he just looks over at me yeah, you're not getting this.
Broken hearts
Yeah.
everywhere. So you two traveled to Asia, though, for the, the APAC?
It was at the Overwatch APAC premiere.
Okay, so I just saw the stage and tuned in a little bit in between. That was insane. The venue was crazy.
Oh, you said the money was crazy?
No, the venue.
Oh, okay, yeah. Also, the money was crazy.
What was the money?
Well, the prize pool wasn't big. It was 200 grand. Yeah, not big.
Yeah, that's
200
not
grand,
big
right?
at all.
Sorry, it's
Get
not
that
big.
every day in the mail.
Yeah, but the owner of Banana Culture, who was the company that actually put it on, the whole event, is the son of the richest man in China.
Oh, wow.
In China,
okay.
we're talking billions of people.
Yeah, true.
Hopefully, I'm not wrong on that. And he's putting, because he wants to do esports, and he's put this whole thing on, put all the money invested into Banana Culture. Mitch and I were treated like true VIPs there. It was amazing. We had someone waiting for us nonstop. Do we need anything? Do we need water? Do we need food?
No, they were designated to
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So you had
So Mitch and I had a guy together, Jared.
No
who
way.
was awesome. Yeah, he was
a
a great
literal
guy.
servant?
I mean, that term's so 2015,
I know.
right? No, yeah. So we basically had
Trump was voted
yeah.
a couple days ago. I think it's back now. I mean, come
Don't
on.
remind me. Yeah, so we had a guy helping us nonstop. The staff there was amazing.
Great.
There's this one girl named Jindy, or they called her Cindy, who was always up to like 5 in the morning and then wake up again at like 7 a.m. to make sure if any of the teams needed anything.
Jesus.
She was a translator for English for everyone, but she was like a true fan. So while we're at the LAN cafe with Rogue screaming right behind us, you see her with her little pillow, her legs up. I can't do this because skinny jeans don't really work well. Her legs were up, as you can imagine, hugging her pillow, watching old streams of Tavik and Siegel. Like that's like she was a hardcore fan, but she was great. She was really good for everyone.
So if you guys were treated like almost gods right there, wasn't Siegel just literally carried by people the entire day?
There's a story of that where he left the venue to go get something to eat, and there's these metal barriers holding people back. And by people, I mean women. It was women mostly.
No way.
They all jumped the barrier to actually chase him down and his teammates to like get signatures, pictures, autographs, everything from him.
Wow,
it was
must
hilarious.
feel bad going home after that, where nobody cares.
No, in Korea it happens for him too, because from there he went straight to Korea.
Okay.
That happens all the time for him. Even Reinforced from Rogue, who's this massive 200-something centimeter giant, who all the Korean girls are like hee when they see him. It's hilarious. No, it's like being white in Asian regions. Like they're like huge fans. And the thing is, he so they have, what is it called? It's Weibo, which is like the Chinese Twitter. And Siegel made like one tweet, like hello. And within the first 5 minutes, he had something like 20,000 likes or something on it. He didn't even have an account. He just made an account fresh and did that. And by like the end of the day, he had over like 400,000 likes, and the impressions were like more than like what Play Overwatch gets sometimes on their tweets. It was ridiculous. The fan base there is huge. We had, the numbers we were told was 2.5 million for the finals.
Jesus.
In China on Panda TV.
I think we have to go make a Weibo account, Jason.
Well, I don't think that'll work much for me. Maybe you. But no, like they say like, oh, divide the number by 10 when it comes to China, because the numbers are sometimes faked, I guess.
A little sketchy.
But even that, 250,000 people, that's more than any event's ever had for
That's
Overwatch.
Cool. So you yourself have been a caster for quite a while, of course. Overwatch is just one of the games that you got into, of course. So why Overwatch? What fascinates you about the game?
So I've always been a big TF2 fan. I never really got into it casting-wise or competitive-wise, but I love to play it. I love the whole soldier play where you shoot yourself up in the air with a rocket jump and then try to hit people. I tried scrimming a couple times with Medic, and it was fun because people would try to kill you, and your job is to just run around and survive. I think that was what did it, like that and the whole Blizzard backing like an FPS game. Like we know what they do in StarCraft with like the CGIs and with the videos and the stories they tell, and Overwatch kind of fits right into that. Also, Farrah's Bay. I wasn't gonna wear a Farrah shirt, but I was like, if you're wearing a blazer, I gotta classy it up a little bit.
So this is still a big difference, though, Jason.
Yeah, you should have dressed up better.
Maybe I should have worn the Farrah shirt.
You should have worn pants. You know,
I should have worn pants. I'm wearing pants, guys. I swear.
Prove it.
No.
That's what I thought.
Of course, very nice. So we just talked about you and Mitch kind of casting together. We actually have a blooper video of both of you, so we're going to have a look at that right now.
All right. All right, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
You sure?
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Overdrive, where two casters measure dick sizes and also try to make sense of competitive Overwatch. Now, we actually do, I was going to do a little bit more of a laugh out of you, no?
Not really.
No,
It was okay.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 here of Overdrive, and Jason Kaplan, joined by Mitch Leslie. I already f***ed that up. Wait.
So what do we expect to see?
You didn't count down, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to...
I wasn't looking.
All right.
I was like...
3, 2, 1.
Wait. Blooper.
So blooper right now. All right.
It's so hot right now.
3, 2,
Cord.
1. These little things. Three, 2, 1. So what do we expect to see on... Well, I didn't even say anything funny, bro.
I know, it's just the cord.
The cord's behind me,
It was
mate.
just the
Just
cord.
like that whole last segment. It's all behind us. Okay. Alright. 3. Can you not? I really don't want this to be too prominent. Shit. 3, 2, 1.
Damn it, I was there. I was focused. And then I lost
I feel like
it.
a little kid now. So what do we expect to see in competitive payload matches? Of course, you've got an attacking and defending side, both with very different strategies. Jason, let's start off with the defending side.
Of course, the defending side, the big difference between you...
You fucked me! You fucked me on this side, damn it!
And now we need to get into one of the potentially biggest issues.
Boys. From every single bit of video footage and examples of the game that we have seen so far, death timers seem to be flat at 10 seconds for all characters on all sides of the map. And what happens with this is that teams don't spawn,
Balls. I know where
Well, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in.
Jesus. How many attempts did you need in the end for that video?
Uh,
Those weren't all, right?
Well, those weren't from the same video. So like we recorded like 6 of them, and those were like the outtakes from some. There was a lot more attempts that you didn't see, but none of them were funny at all. They were more screaming at ourselves. How we can't sit in front of a camera and just talk.
You guys are
pretty
like
hard.
giant babies. In those
Yeah,
videos.
you have to have fun with it, right? Like
That's
if you
true,
don't have fun with it, people can see that, and then they're like, "Why do I watch this?"
Of
So
course,
we had a great time. So you saw the tough love he gives me there in some of those videos.
Yeah.
Mitch, please, you know,
Mitch,
just
please.
give me a little bit of
I
love.
never thought about
Goes
that.
a long way.
We might actually have him on this show next week.
Okay.
So if you have any ideas on how we can poke him and like make
His
him feel bad
nipples,
about his tough love.
nipples. You rub his
His
nipples, and he gets really pissed because they get pointy, and you can see it through his shirt because he wears really tight shirts.
You shouldn't be knowing these things.
A lot of things happened in China for those 2 weeks we were there, okay? We shared a room for a little bit. We had some interesting stories, some interesting times that will never be brought up.
That will never be brought up. That's sad though, man. I wish. Come on, a little bit, like a teaser.
No tip. Not
Nothing?
giving you the tip.
Okay, let's get back to professional. So, Overwatch. That's what this is all about, right? So, where is the game going, Jason? Where's the game going? And competitively, how is it getting bigger? I mean, we just had Blizzcon with a big announcement. What's happening?
I guess we can talk about viewership-wise first. Viewership's been increasing. BlizzCon, we broke over 150K, I think it was.
Jeez.
150?
Was that just the English stream, or?
I think that was just English, and then there was like 170, or maybe I'm off by numbers a little bit, but it was around 150, whether it was just English or with other language streams. Yeah, it's gotta be big from StarCraft point of view, where StarCraft gets like 20K normally on like a good day. Even StarCraft actually broke 100K during BlizzCon.
I mean, there was
so
some
awesome
hosting back and forth to the channels, but of course,
just let it happen. No, it was great to see that though.
Yeah.
But yeah, they announced the Overwatch League, which I honestly don't know too much about.
Nobody really knows that much yet, right?
Well, I literally just did an interview on Tuesday when I was back in the States with Nate Nanzer on the overview with Chanman, Fishdix, myself, and Nate Nanzer. And we did ask him some questions. They were like predetermined questions, so we couldn't necessarily ask him like the nitty-gritty things we wanted to talk about. But we got some information. So they were talking about how they want to do a league for, I guess, a small amount of time. We're not talking like a year thing, right? We're not talking about LCS where you play a spring and a summer split. I think it's like maybe half a year max kind of thing. And then you have like an off season for people to like trade players and whatnot. But it's a league based around cities like professional sports. So here you have Cologne FC.
Yes.
BVB in Dusseldorf.
Yes.
And then like Manchester United, all those etc. But in the U.S., you'd have like Los Angeles, Las Vegas, San Francisco probably, like Chicago, like all the big cities like professional American football teams have and basketball. And then each of these cities would be the home base for some teams.
So do you think that like it's a pretty big localization all of a sudden, right? Because nowadays that doesn't really happen. Like maybe you have like the Copenhagen Wolves somewhere, but most of the time people
probably
don't really.
In Copenhagen.
Yeah, like I mean, you know, does that make sense in your mind? I mean, it's kind of a new approach, right?
It's not even new. It's CGS did it back. Was it 2008 or something like that? I wasn't even paying attention to esports back then, so I'm just going off what I'm told. But no, yeah, CGS did it, and CGS kind of crumbled, and it like popped the esports bubble back then. Though I'd say we're in a different time than that, because obviously if Overwatch goes under or League goes under, esports doesn't die with it, because you still have Dota, you still have CS, you still have all these other games that you can work with. I don't know how it's gonna work. Like obviously the first season or the first year, you have to look at like infrastructure at a Blizzard. Like, how can they possibly run the league in EU as well when they don't really have a big home base in EU, right? So that's what Riot did with LCS in Season 3. They had LA, or the Santa Barbara, be their NA headquarters for it, and then they had ESL in Cologne do the European version of that one.
Yeah.
But then they moved it away eventually once they had the staff to support it, they had the buildings, the infrastructure set up for it. So from what I understand, it's going to be like NA only, but not NA only teams.
Understood.
So we're probably going to have like some European teams move over to the US to play in this, probably some Korean teams, unless Apex does like another season, which from what I hear they are.
But that's what's happened in League as well, right? A lot of like, not necessarily teams completely, but just players moving over to an NA for esports, right?
Well, not esports for
For
money.
the moolah.
For money,
Of course,
yeah.
yes.
There's a lot of money to be made for like streaming in NA and what teams will pay.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm imagining there's going to be like in League of Legends, like an LCK in Korea. You'll have LPL in China. Then you'll have NA base be the league for EU and NA. So they take like the best teams, not even the best teams. It's about who wants to buy a slot in the league is what it is, and wants to pay to have your team be in a certain area and represent them. And then from there, after the first year, probably move out to Europe and have European cities be the home base. The question I have, and that we haven't really got answered, is like, where are they going to be played? Is it going to be, which this is what they're looking at long term. You have the San Francisco Rogue, go to the Envious or the Charlotte Envious, whatever it's going to be.
Sure.
Names in progress, right? And then they play there for a game, and people can come and watch. And then like the casters would fly from city to city doing different games, different matches. But the first year, like, I don't see that really happening because you have to have an arena set up, you have to have a LAN area and everything like that. So from what I understand, or what I can guess at, it's going to be like a broadcast station in LA, and maybe they'll fly the teams in, and the teams will play matches every week, kind of thing. But it has good potential. Like what Nate Nanzer has planned for it, the head of esports for Overwatch is huge. And I'd rather see someone shoot for the skies than shoot for nowhere at all, right? You want to see them really push for it. And they have the money, they have the backing, they have the player base for it. Was it 25 million people? They definitely have the talent for it, like the casting wise. No, they definitely have like people interested in it. It's just whether or not it works out well. And I have high hopes. There's things I would maybe do differently, but they have a lot more experience.
What would you do differently, for example?
The problem I have is that it's, and I don't want to like shoot myself in the foot, is that esports is global. And I don't know how well the idea of having people based in cities works, like being represented in a city. But it all comes down to the professional organizations and other in professional sports getting involved. Like the 76ers has bought a stake in Dignitas. You have individual players
Apex
like Shaq.
as well, I think, right?
Apex?
Team Apex? Like they're not that big, I think, right?
I don't know, to be honest.
Well, yeah. But I think that's a good thing to go off of, because that's been happening a lot lately, like especially in Germany here, right? Where like soccer or football, I mean, I don't want to offend anyone with that, is a huge thing, right? And all these big clubs, even Manchester United, for example, they all bought esport teams, not necessarily for Overwatch, but for teams in general. So maybe that's something that Blizzard has picked up on and is going towards that direction as well.
Well, I know Schalke, if I'm saying that right, did buy a league team as well.
They bought a league team.
And they had a league team before, but their team got relegated. I know for a fact, and I can't say who exactly was there, in the VIP section, they had professional owners of sport teams. I can't say which ones because I actually don't know which ones.
Oh, okay.
But I know for a fact they were there, as well as some other people who were involved in it, who have a lot of money behind them. So there's a lot of interest there, and they're really pushing it for it to go that direction. So like the concerns I have about maybe being based in a city will disappear when you have, the multi-billion-dollar professional organizations being involved in this.
True. Wow, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, thanks for the insight there. I mean, are you scared of any part of that? Like, do you think anything could go wrong there?
I think there's always a potential for something to go wrong. Like, look at League. It's been going now for 3-4 seasons. I think we're in season 6 and 7s next year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I stopped paying attention to League a long time ago. But even they're having problems.
Yes.
Like with ownership issues, with owners not being happy. I think I saw on Reddit earlier today, they sent a letter to Riot saying they're unhappy with the fact that they can be playing in one split then be relegated the next, and all the stuff going on. A lot of the player issues, like with like contracts and people being not abused, but like taken advantage of.
Yes.
So there's always problems, but I don't know. I feel like Blizzard have a lot more experience in the long run when it comes to Riot, like comparing the two.
Yeah, I get it.
I think there are always big concerns. Like when you're myself or Mitch or Monty, Doa or Demon, you're so heavily invested into this, you don't want to see it fall, but you're obviously going to be scared. Like you don't want it to fail after you put in so much time.
So you just mentioned Doa and Monty. Obviously, two very well-known casters, especially from the League side of things. Of course, now transferring into Overwatch. BlizzCon probably the first tournament where they were kind of globally seen more than kind of the Korea side of things. So how do you think the transition for them is going, or for Monte Cristo specifically?
Well, for Monty, he's a machine. Like, I've actually never worked with him until BlizzCon, but this guy was sitting there watching VODs, like, in breaks. He was sitting there asking teams tons of questions. He was always pushing for, like, stats as much as he possibly can, which we did have a little bit of during BlizzCon. I think he's transitioning fine into it. Like, he's doing a good job. Once he gets... His analysis is different than you'll have of, like, my analysis or maybe of, like, a pro player who turned caster, like Crepo or Deficio.
Yeah.
Because he analyzes, like, the stats and the tendencies and the correlations and causations and stuff. Whereas they'll, like, analyze what's happening and why they're doing this and what they maybe do next because they have, like, more the insight of being a player. I think they've had not a tough time, but they've definitely had, I guess, struggles back when they were first practicing it because it's a lot different pace than League of Legends. Like in League, it's very slow. You have a fight every once in a while. You get to build up a story. You get to talk about all these stats. You get to have a little fun banter back and forth. But in Overwatch, it's just fight. And finding the time to fit in your analysis sections is really difficult to do. And even with Mitch and I doing it now a year, we still are working as much as we can. So I think they've had the same troubles we've had transitioning to Overwatch, but I mean they've been doing this for 10+ years each, so they know what they're doing.
Practice.
Just need some time and practice. Yeah,
practice is everything right there. And you also had a little bit of fun at BlizzCon. We actually have we found a tweet of you guys.
Oh yeah, I was actually wondering what you were talking about, but now I know.
On stream right now. So Mr. X actually tweeted this. I'm going to really miss the Overwatch World Cup talent team. Best group of people I've ever worked with, hands down. Now, you guys all got your move down. I think actually...
I'm looking the wrong... I should have been looking to the left. I was a little sad. I didn't know everyone was looking that.
I think Monty actually has the pose down the best, right?
Probably. He's got a great ass, too. And there's another picture from, I think, Susie that tweeted at Little Susie that has his ass popping out. He's got, like, 2 hams in his back pocket. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it that? Too bad we couldn't find that. We'll try to get that one.
I've seen it. I've touched it in person.
You've touched it in person,
yeah,
of course. But Mitch hasn't touched yours yet. Oh, okay, nice.
I didn't think about it.
Because you just told me that there's some tough. Okay, I don't know. Tough love.
Yeah, you get a couple drinks in them. You know, never know what's gonna happen. Yeah, no, we had a great time. Like we were all like, I think once Mr. X saw the Tracer leggings in like the brochure, he's like, we all have to do this for the Twitch party. So you have like in that picture, I think all of them but myself and maybe Monty were just wearing underwear. Oh, no, sorry, no, other way around. We were the only ones like just wearing underwear under the leggings. The rest of them had shorts.
Oh, okay.
So like what you see, the bulges you see are real, ladies and gentlemen.
The bulges you see are real.
Yeah,
the bottom line.
But they're like women's leggings, so I had a double XL, and that was still short on me.
Okay.
And the Tracer jacket.
That's what you tell yourself when you wear double XL. It's women's size.
It actually, I swear it was. I know I haven't been to the gym in a while, but come on.
You look great.
And the jacket, yeah, we had the Overwatch League shirt under that. It was good times. People definitely turned heads.
Okay, so you've been traveling around the world, of course, also around before Overwatch happened, but with Overwatch, Asia, BlizzCon, and then DreamHack's coming up for you as well, right? So we actually, I think we even have a tweet about the talent team. Let's get that checked out as well. You are part of it, next to Zoe, who's very well known, of course. Then Mr. X again, who was actually more known from the Call of Duty side of things. Then obviously Hex and ZP, and your good friend Mitch.
I saw a comment on this on Reddit that it looked like a greased up alien machine.
On Reddit?
And my picture, because it's such a highly photoshopped picture of me. Yeah, no, it's going to be great. Like, Mr. X was also going to work with him, ZP as well. Never worked with hexagrams yet, but my question is, I don't know what's going to happen with, like, pairings in that one. So you might actually see some mixing. Is it going to be ZP Hex? Is it going to be ZP Mr. X? Mitch and myself? Are we going to switch things around?
I guess trying to switch it around would be the best thing to do, right? Kind of try everything out. So
yeah, we're still waiting for teams to qualify. I think is it coming up this week? I think like the final qualifier happens.
Yeah. And then DreamHack itself is, I think, in 2 weeks from now, right?
23rd. Oh, we fly out the 23rd, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But
should be fun, though. It's great to see them put their foot into the Overwatch bucket. I mean, Take TV did back in May, wasn't it?
Yeah, the takeover. It was, I mean, it's just a $5,000 prize pool, but it was kind of like the first real LAN tournament. We was kind of trying it out back then. But, I mean, that's a different topic. So DreamHack, $50,000, I think it was?
Yeah.
Damn. It's a crazy world we live in where 50,000 is kind of like a meh prize pool.
Right, yeah. And we have to remember, though, it's 6 people on each team. So you have to split it a little bit differently. But, I definitely agree. Like 50K that was a lot of money back when I first started casting for teams for like League of Legends. And 50K is like the very low end of what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's true.
You
Which
have
is good as well in some aspect, right?
yeah.
Because they're getting up there. So and maybe in closing here, what are you looking forward to the most in the future for Overwatch for yourself, like as a caster? What are you looking forward to the most? What do you want to see happen?
Two things: stats, like the
Ooh,
spectator overlaid and UI to get completely redone with tons of stats, like an accessible web page to go to find certain things. Because that was something I was really heavily into in League, was like getting numbers. For instance, like time to first blood. How often did the team win when they got first blood? Time to first tower, how often they win to first tower, like all these little things.
And the stats, of course.
Yeah, and you could build like a storyline around it. So I want to see that for Overwatch. I want to compare like when Taimu gets 70% or higher accuracy on McCree, they win 95% of the time. Like little things like that are just like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then also the League, like I hope I'm involved in it. I hope Mitch and I and Demon all get involved in it. It's gonna be really cool if it happens. I think we're gonna have a great time, and I think we're gonna kind of try to take it to the next level, hopefully.
Take it to the next level. I like that. Good closing words right there. I guess number 3 would be getting more hugs from Mitch in at some point.
I'm done. I'm done with it. This talk right now, it's been like a therapy session for me, just to be like, you know what? He doesn't deserve it anymore.
He doesn't deserve
it.
Of course. Well, Mitch, you heard it. Maybe you can come crawling and. He might take you.
Won't come crawling.
He won't come crawling.
No.
Too much tough love. Well, Jason, it's been great having you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming to
Great
this
being
show.
here.
It's been amazing. And that's going to do it for the interview segment, guys. But we do have more coming up, of course, after a very short break right now. We're going to go into one of the new MOBA games for the mobile phone, actually, Mobile Legends. So don't go anywhere. And we'll show you that after the break.